Welcome to Repum Group's Item 24, where we take you a step beyond the standard FDD. We asked ourselves, why stop at 23 items when some of the most important insights live beyond the page? Here we're breaking down the inner workings of franchising and sharing real-life strategies and stories that drive the industry forward. Welcome back to another episode of Item 24, where I'm honored to have Jesse from the Dog Stop on today. He is the founder of this great concept. We have golfed together. We've bonded together from the beginning when we started. And I always say, Jesse, I was surprised at how good you were and how bad I am. So ultimately, that was a good bond to start with for you winning, and not just winning, but crushing me when we golfed. But it was fun. So no, I in all seriousness, I'm honored to have you on here. You've created such a great concept, and you are one of the best in franchising in my mind, and everyone says the same thing about you and your reputation. So welcome, Jesse. Please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your background.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nick. And I had a home course advantage, so I'm sure if we play again on a neutral course, it'll go much better for you. But my name is Jesse Coslov, founder and CEO here at the Dog Stop. The Dog Stop is an all-inclusive dog care facility offering, daycare, boarding, grooming, obedience, retail. We even do some in-home services, walking, overnight pet sitting. So it's really that one-stop shop for all of your dog care needs. And we're super excited to be partnering with you guys at Repum and help with some national expansion. We already have about 47 locations open across the country, and excited to hit that 50 mark here by the end of the year and continue on.
Well, we are equally as excited as partnering with you guys. And you've created such a great concept. I mean, as you said, getting close to the 50 mark, which is a huge milestone, as we all know in franchising. And, you've been doing this for quite a while. And, the first time I ever walked into one of your locations in Pittsburgh, I was really wowed by the experience. And so one of the first questions I have around what you've been doing over the last decade plus with this brand is, what do you see as the trends that, dog lovers and or pet lovers in general are looking for when it comes to an experience walking in the four walls of your location? Obviously, you see the trends shift and what they want, what they don't want. And so right now, what are you seeing as today, what people want as they look for services for their dogs, and where do you see the future going?
We've continued to, try to stay ahead of the trends. I think we really pushed the envelope starting probably 15 years ago now, really focusing on transparency and customer service, which at the time were lacking in the industry. We continue to do that, but now, I think it's really going more, people are looking to really capitalize or emphasize the health and wellness of their pet, everything they do for themselves. They're looking, to do for their dogs as well. And we really lean into that. Our facilities are really built to allow for, far greater customization of services than a lot of others. And by that, I mean, dog care is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. What works for one dog and one human owner often doesn't work for many others. So given all the services that we offer in our facilities and the way our facilities are set up to really meet every dog and every dog owner where they are, it allows us to really kind of customize and tailor that experience for exactly what that dog might need, whether they're super social and love daycare, or a little bit more reserved and laid back and don't necessarily love playing with other dogs. From grooming, all kinds of different, stimulus and things like that we can control to ensure that it's the right atmosphere for every dog and every dog owner when they come in.
Yeah, I can see that as being super important. As a dog owner myself, just you want the best care for your dog. Especially when you go away, we don't have a dog stop locally, but when we do, we will bring our dog there. But we have a good one, that our dog goes to when we go away and boards. And, my sign is always when you drop the dog off, and our dog's name is Piper. So I'll say Piper, she runs to the person and is like excited. Whereas sometimes you'll see the opposite. They're trying to run to you and get out of there, which usually indicates maybe they don't like this place. Right. Sure. But I think those things are super important. Right. And you have to make that feel that they love it and feel like they're going to be cared for the right way when they're there for however long they are.
No. 100%. That's always one of our favorite things to see is not only the dog's, excitement to come in and the owners telling us that, the dogs start getting all excited and whimpering and making noises on the way to the dog stop, like they know where they're going. When they get about a half a mile away, they all kind of have this overly excited reaction. But when the owner comes to pick up and the dog like sits down and starts dragging and the owner can't get them out, that's also usually a pretty good sign that they like where they are.
Yeah, that's great. All right. So second question is kind of switching gears on ownership of the dog stop. So if you're a franchisee, obviously you have several franchisees, some owning multiple locations today, some owning a single location, but you've had a lot of experience with probably, I always say the good, bad, and the ugly in franchising. Franchisees aren't all created equally, as we know, and there's good operators, there's poor operators, and there's decent operators. And so when you look at now having all the experience with, having franchise owners for a decade plus, right? What makes the ideal candidate? Like if you could look at the ideal person coming in that's interested in becoming a dog stop owner, what makes that candidate and potential franchisee someone who you believe is going to open one of these and be successful?
Sure. No, it's a really good question. I think some of these qualities and traits, wouldn't be unique to just the dog stop. We refer to the 4 H's, people who are happy, who are hungry, people who are honest, and people who are hardworking. Those 4 traits, I think, would lend themselves to almost any business out there, but certainly, applicable to ours. Community builders. I mean, this is all about, providing this incredible service to the community that you're in, and people who really enjoy engaging with the community, the dog community specifically. Obviously, most of our owners are dog people themselves and love connecting with other dog owners and sharing this incredible concept, to their neighborhood and their local community. And then we've seen some, I'd say stronger past work experiences or backgrounds that have lent themselves to more success in the dog stop system. That's going to be people, who maybe had a sales background, a marketing background, business development, management, those type of roles that, again, are a little bit more, people and communication oriented and do a great job of building a team, building the community, and rolling this brand out with, through their network and in their neighborhood.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you're right. Some of the qualities of good franchisees, isn't just equal to dog stop. It's across the board as a franchisor. And I say that, what I love about the dog stop, and emerging brands sometimes can't have this, but because they just don't have enough experience. But what I love to see is your system is so sound. And I always say that the system of a franchisor needs to be better than the potential franchisee coming in one way, which is they have no experience doing this before, right? And so it needs to be sound. It needs to be not bulletproof, but pretty close to it, where if they execute on it, they know they're going to get a good result on the other side. And I think too many franchisors miss that point of like their system needs to be that good, so that an average operator or an average franchisee, and look, there's always the top performers and the mid performers and the bottom, but that all of them can hopefully be successful one way or another, right? And I've always found that to be important. So, all right, last question is just, we talked a little bit earlier about the future of what your client walking in the 4 doors of your facilities wants, but what does the dog stop want? What do you guys see as the trends for you guys as a franchisor over the next, call it 3 to 5 years? What do you think and what do you envision for your brand in that period of time?
Sure. No, so we're going to continue to evolve on the services side of things and the offerings, kind of, tying back into the first question there on the health and wellness side. We have several new services that we're rolling out and kind of tweaking that are going to be, just piggybacking on that in terms of added, ways to improve the health. Some of the things that you're seeing in human care and things like that. Think, aqua therapy, think, red light therapy, nutritional ways to improve the wellness of the dog and immune system, digestive system. We have a whole enrichment program that's built into both our daycare and boarding side of things, because, we're always very mindful about making sure that we're stimulating the dog mentally as well as physically, just so that, we can make sure it's the healthiest possible atmosphere. And then, as all businesses should be, right now we're spending a lot and really investing in technology, a lot of AI powered systems that are going to help our franchisees get access to information faster, AI AI-powered, booking systems and chatbots and things so that customers can make appointments and get the information that they need faster. And then, continuing, to invest in not only, more common technologies like websites and apps, but just everything to really improve that customer experience, so that they have a better connection and better transparency in terms of what's happening with their dog. And they're constantly getting updates and alerts in terms of, my dog is in this playroom. My dog's playing with these other dogs. My dog just ate this much of its meal. Here's some, health signals and vitals about my dog and how things are going. So just kind of continuing to provide that transparency and technology as it's evolving is making that easier and easier. So super excited about the next 2-3 years and a lot of cool new things coming out.
I love that. That's great. As you were talking about that, I was in New York and I saw a new kind of store that I just never thought I'd see, but they have I'm going to say like a Chipotle type food concept for dogs where you go in and you literally pick your food out and they cook it in front of you. And if you like the formula, then they'll continue to make that same formula for you and ship it to your house. And I was just like, this is crazy. It's like served made food for dogs, which I just never had seen before. But my point being is just more and more of that type of personalized things for your dog and your pet are just becoming more and more common in what we do today with our pets. So anyway, I know you're on the forefront of that. And Jesse, thank you for being on Item 24 today. Really appreciate it. And we're really excited for what the future holds coming into 2026 with the Dog Stop.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Nick.